First, the Home Secretary has demanded that the government cut immigration before the next general election, claiming Britain has become too dependent on foreign labour. In a speech seen as a warning shot to Cabinet colleagues, Suella Braverman said Brits risked forgetting how to do things for ourselves if net migration remains at hundreds of thousands. She added there's no good reason why British workers couldn't be trained to become lorry drivers, fruit pickers and butchers. Braverman also argued that it's not racist to want to control borders. And then in a moment of drama, she was interrupted by two Extinction Rebellion protesters.
Because defining conservatism is undoubtedly a challenge. Defining. I see. Anyone else? It's audition day for the Shadow Cabinet.
Well, that came just hours after Jacob Rees-Mogg's speech was also disrupted by a stage invader from the same group.
Well, there we go. Our jolly good fellow has had to leave, but we believe in freedom of speech. So he can have his National Conference next week, and he can see how many people he gets to come along.
Well, they were quite good retorts, and we believe in free speech and protest, and pretty much every politician has had something like that happen to them. But getting back to Braverman's speech, I mean, it's sort of stating the bleeding obvious, isn't it? That borders have to be controlled, migration has to be controlled, and it's like she's forgotten who's been in charge for 13 years.
It's absolutely crazy. She said, oh, lazy Brits have got to get back to work. Too many foreign workers taking British jobs and all that. This is the government that is letting 1 million migrants into this country legally every year to do these jobs.
Because we need them.
Yes, we do. This is their low-wage economy policy.
Yeah.
They're responsible for this. And for her to stand there and say, oh, this is a disaster, is deceitful on an epic level. But
you make a fantastic point. I mean, the Conservatives have completely lost control of immigration in this country. And actually, what I find really interesting, and they've spoken a lot about illegal immigration, the 45,000 that came in last year, costing £8 million every single day. And of course, that is a fraction of the number that they've issued visas to. And the brilliant bit about this is she said, oh, this is terrible. And then, as you say, your point, which is that who's in charge? The Home Secretary. That's you then.
So, it's like she's saying, I'm a very naughty girl.
Yeah, I am a very naughty girl.
I'm going to have words with myself.
So they're issuing, as you rightly say, all of these visas, something like 900,000 visas, plus all of the relatives that are allowed to come here. And it doesn't take a genius to work out if you have people, this number of people, you need to provide education, you need to provide GPs, you need to provide housing. And we're simply not doing that. And we do need to train more of our own people, but obviously employment is high at the moment, very high.
Very high.
And so, therefore, if you do have to bring people in, you're going to have to accommodate them somehow.
Yeah, sign them up for those very important training schemes for fruit picking, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
This is a low-wage economy policy. This is what this government is addicted to. This migration problem, this legal migration problem, massive amounts of people coming every year into a crowded country that can't take it because of our infrastructure. This is their policy.
Yeah.
For them to stand there and say that is absolutely outrageous.
But, JJ, it felt to me a bit like a beauty contest of people jostling. I mean, Suella Braverman made the joke about people wanting to be in the shadow cabinet, but actually that's what a lot of people at this conference are worrying about. They're worrying about what a post-Rishi Sunak Conservative Party will look like and who's going to be the next leader.
I think she was auditioning for herself to be the next leader of the Tory party. The influx of immigration, by the way, the majority is Hong Kong and Ukrainians, refugees, who this country were massively supporting just a year or so ago.
So 163,000 Ukrainians.
Yeah, majority
so
of those.
It's not the majority.
No, Ukrainian and Hong Kong refugees, that's the majority.
That's not
after
right.
that, it's foreign students who our universities need, because they pay a small fortune
they
to
bring
go
their
here.
families with them,
And they bring their
though.
families with them, yes. But
that's all right, then.
But these are rules that have been in place for years.
But that's where it goes wrong.
And on top of that, it's NHS workers who, again, the country needs. So Suella Braverman can say what she wants. We've got to stop the people coming across, got to protect our borders. She's talking to a minority group of people in the Tory party who she thinks are going to support her.
But let's just be very clear
next
about the
leader
visas
of the
they're
Tories.
issuing. If you come for a postgraduate visa, for example, you're allowed to study for 1 year.
And not a postgraduate visa.
But you can then stay for 2 years.
But what about undergraduates?
But then you can bring in dependents.
Yes,
so
but
the question
undergraduates
is,
as well.
but if you're coming as an undergraduate, why are you bringing your family? You shouldn't.
So no
Not skilled workers is the point.
No postgraduates, undergraduates, or their family are coming over here to pick fruit. She's saying, oh, we need to train more Brits. We don't need to train more Brits. You don't need training to become fruit pickers.
Exactly.
The fact that British people don't want to do those particular jobs because they don't pay well. It's not because they're lazy. It's because they don't pay well enough, because for years, as Kevin's been saying, we're in a low-wage economy where farmers, different employers, have gotten away with, for whatever reason, paying far less to foreign workers. So your average, let's say, Romanian will come over here and work for 6 months of the year and then go back, because that 6-month salary will last a lot longer in Romania. Over here, it's naffle. We're in a cost of living crisis.
But we also have
13 years of Tory rule that has all led to this.
So we have 5.3 million people who are not economically employed in this country. So there are also, whilst I do agree with you that it is not well paid, but at the same time, there is also a group of people, not everyone, but there is a group of people that won't do those manual jobs.
None of us here would.
No, I did it as a young person. I went fruit picking. No, I did. You know, that's what we did when we were growing up to make money. But that's the sort of thing we need to do. But also what we should be doing is saying what we want to build is highly skilled people in this country. And so, therefore, in terms of coming into this country, you want to attract people who are highly skilled.
And low skilled.
Then go into...
And low skilled because of the fruit. We need the fruit.
Our policy,
well, we do, but why don't we use our own?
Is only to let low qualified, unskilled workers in, and that will drive our economy down and down and down. And they're going on about, Suella Braverman and the gang are also saying, got to stop lazy Brits shirking, they've got to get back to work. Well, this is their fault as well, because they gave them free money for about 3 years or 2.5 years throughout the COVID crisis. They extended the furlough scheme for far too long, created this whole new mindset where we learned the other week that 650,000 never went back to work afterwards. They thought, oh, I like this working from home or not working from home, watching now. I don't think I'll ever work again. So that's their fault as well. This is just a government, like, kind of in its death throes, the end of days. It really is.